So I declare the council meeting open at 9 a.m. On the 20th of December. With myself in attendance, I'm bound to declare any conflicts of interest as part of this meeting. There are no members of the Interim Management Committee in attendance at this meeting. Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges traditional owners as custodians of the land. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging as the keepers of the traditions, cultures and stories of a proud people. No apologies under agenda item C. Agenda item D, sadly we do have a condolence motion to talk at council. Gemma Debenay, who has passed away on the 16th of December this year, aged 67. So Gemma was born on the 15th of January 1951 and is survived by a husband of 43 years, Peter, and two sons, Julian and Jean-Paul. Gemma, along with her husband Peter, founded the music heritage group Ipswich and the Ipswich City Orchestra. Gemma was appointed by the Conservatorium of New South Wales at a very young age to teach music while studying for her performance degree. Gemma pioneered the Suzuki method of teaching, travelling far and wide to gain the necessary experience to teach the highest levels of musicianship in Queensland at that time. In 1984, Gemma commenced a 14-year history of the Suzuki workshops, labelled as one of the top 5 of the Pan-Pacific region. Students and teachers from Melbourne to Mackay, from Japan and the USA travelled to Ipswich every Easter, where 480 people a day packed into the TAFE at Bundamba. In 1987, she began coordinated tours to Europe and Japan, where Ipswich students proudly represented their city and council. They played for Australia, Japan and the United Nations, both here and overseas, appearing often on television. In 1988, Gemma and her husband Peter convened the first and still only live-in summer school for the Suzuki method at Griffith University. Then in 2004, Gemma decided to establish the Ipswich City Orchestra with the assistance from the late Major Derek Taylor OBE. Through the Ipswich City Orchestra Novice Program, 20 musicians from the region have acquired professional status. The orchestra has gone on to now be a world-class professional orchestra under the baton of Patrick Burns. Gemma was a role model, pioneer in her field, and was fiercely passionate about her love of music and the city of Ipswich. She will be missed. I ask that 1 minute's silence be observed to mark the passing of Gemma Debenay. Thank you. Turning to agenda item E, officers' reports. We have 2 reports to consider at this meeting. The annual report, which is tabled. All documents are tabled. None are confidential, I don't think. No. Yeah. I want to pay particular thanks to Jeff Keach for his efforts this year. Gone well and truly above the beyond the call of duty. Thank you, and particularly for this, the annual reports and the financial statements. All local government financial statements are a little bit complicated. These are especially complicated, particularly through the process of the change of councillors into interim administration after the end of the financial year, but particularly the controlled entities. So that's been a difficult and challenging thing for all involved. But thank you, Jeff, very much from behalf of council for that. Also want to thank Greg Thomas and Carly Gregory particularly for their work on the annual report document. This is the first time the annual report's been presented in the 5 themes of our strategic planning framework across the Advanced Ipswich framework, and I think it reads very well, and I think it'll be a lot easier for the community to understand what we do and why we do it and what we're trying to achieve. So many thanks to the teams, also your support teams, so much appreciated. Other than that, I'll resolve recommendations A and B on page 3 of the report, that the report as detailed there be adopted and the financial statements also be received and noted. Thank you. Second item on the agenda is the appointment of a Chief Executive Officer. This has been a process of 37, 38, I think, applications, with 5 interviewed by an independent panel. I thank the members of the panel for their work on that, chaired by Steve Greenwood from the Interim Management Committee. Psychometric testing was undertaken for 3 shortlisted folks, and the council and its consultants, the recruitment consultants, undertook a range of security, police, social media and corporate checks. The recruitment consultant did point out in a recent email to me that it's the most comprehensive checking he has ever been engaged with. At the end of that process, we have arrived at a successful candidate. Out of respect for that candidate, that appointed CEO and his current local government, so he's currently a CEO of another local government, I can't mention his name at the moment. We are jointly working towards a press release so that he and his mayor can release the statement to the current community, and we can do the same to our community here at Ipswich at the same time, and we'll try to do that as fast as we can. So that's why I really, just out of respect of that, rather than it being leaking around and show disrespect to his or our current communities. On that basis, I'll resolve recommendations A, B and C on page 2 of the report, that the council resolve to appoint its preferred candidate as CEO to the council. That appointment be effective from Monday the 4th of February, and then I'll finalise negotiations and execute that contract accordingly. There being no other business, I declare the meeting closed at 9:07 AM. Thank you.